Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Film Hub NI podcast. Tonight sees the opening of the 19th Belfast Film Festival with the gala screening of A Bump Along the Way, hot foot from the Maiden City. We're delighted to be joined by producer Louise Gallagher and star of the film, Bronagh Gallagher. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And yes, they do have the same surname because they are sisters.
Yes, we are. As far as we know. As far as we know, exactly. Last time we checked.
So, how are you feeling about opening the film festival tonight?
Really excited, dazed, confused, mostly excited. I can't believe it's here. It's been the fastest year. You know, I always say a year flies in, but it has been the blink of an eye. This, more or less 1 year exactly to the week. I had to go to company's house, incorporate a company so that I could buy the rights to the script and then make the film. So it's exactly a year, and then here we are.
That's quick.
Yeah,
it's really quick. Isn't it?
Yeah. So you can, so because of the whole funding thing with NI Screen, you have to have your own production company. So anyway, that was the 12th of April last year. So. And then very quickly after that, all the pieces started falling into place.
The stars have all aligned.
They all aligned,
and the baby is born.
Indeed, Onto the world.
The quickest, basically it's the birth of a child.
And it's about the birth of a child.
95 minutes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's been like a full term. You went full term.
I did a full term.
And now you have a healthy baby.
And it's like my third child.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Thanks.
That's a haunting image there. Absolutely.
Share, don't scare, as the man always said. Yes, we're very excited, both of us, to be here in Belfast. And we have lots of the crew and cast coming up from Derry and Dublin.
Excellent.
And other parts of Ulster to celebrate the film tonight, yes. It'll be my first time to see it.
Really?
Yeah.
The full cut?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, brilliant.
Yep. So I'll be there with my head-sized popcorn.
Yeah.
And 15 Cokes, ready to rock. Yeah.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
The Nachos are very good in Movie House.
I'll get them as well.
Recommend them.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's 3.
So, Louise, so that's how the film got started. But tell us about who got sort of involved in the initial. Had the script been around for a long time, or?
So the script came about via Northern Ireland Screen's new writers focus. So they ask, they open the call every year, and hundreds of scripts are sent in, and then they're whittled down to 3. And there's a script read in Belfast, and it's attended by producers from all over, really. So it was then chosen to be this year's new talent focus, right. And it's a scheme that NI Screen run to give a first-time writer, first-time producer, and first-time director the opportunity to make the first feature film. Mm-hmm. So I had to do an interview for that role, was successful in getting that, and then we had to choose a director. And we thought, obviously, we're making a film about a woman, so we thought, let's get a female director. And I had I'd met Shelley before. I was a big fan of her work, and she had just moved back to Northern Ireland. So it was brilliant that she loved the script as well, and brought her in to meet Andrew and Ursula at Northern Ireland Screen. And yeah, they were really impressed, and she was great to have on board. She's just a very visual artist, and she's been in the business for a long time. So this is her first feature. So
had she worked mainly in TV before? Or?
No, she's an independent artist. She works a lot. She was a former dancer,
right?
And then
interesting,
and I think then got into choreographing music videos, and then did some high-end commercials. So has been working and doing her own stuff for years. One of her pieces is called Forgotten Circus, which you can see clips of on her website. And it's just visually just really, really striking. So I thought, wow, she could bring something really beautiful to, a domestic story.
Because the early publicity shots and stuff like that, the colour, there's a really
she's very the colours were kind of like a bluey and a goldeny yellowy colour, and it just happened everywhere we went and we were looking at locations. They just happened to have that colour, and the school that we chose to shoot in as well, hadn't had the same colours, and so it was lovely. So she knew exactly visually what she wanted to do. So we built the set, we built the kitchen that you see that Pamela and Allegra, our characters, live in. That was in a house, and we had to turn another room into a kitchen, and the production designer, Patrick Crichton, did an amazing job because it was his first feature film as well. It's him stepping up into that role. So a lot of us were stepping up into head of department roles, as they're known as. So Patrick was stepping up. Our DOP, Mark Macaulay, it was his first drama feature, even though he's already made A City Dreamin', which
That's right.
which was about Jerry Anderson, God rest him. So everyone was stepping up into that role, you know. So a lot of trainees and a lot of people in the crew have their first feature credit as well, which is great. So it's allowing people to get into the industry. So
it's great. Well, it's a sign that things are very healthy in terms of, you know, that there are people coming through that want to take those roles, that want to step up.
Absolutely. And I mean, I was inundated with people wanting to work and help on the movie as well. And I was very determined to make this film in Derry. It's about a Derry woman, and it's written by a Derry woman, and everywhere it was spoken about, you know, it's all set in Derry. So I think at the start, a few people were like, well, how are you going to make in Derry? There's not enough crew, but I knew there was. And I knew how to access them, and I knew I had a production manager in Derry called Chrissy Gallagher, no relation. But
No. Are there a few Gallaghers in Derry? Is that a common
quite a
name?
few,
Is it? Right?
yeah.
There you go.
4.
Chrissy's a 4. Oh no, there's 5 because there's my man and dad
Yeah.
Right.
and our Paul.
Yeah, he lives in England though, so there's 5.
Okay, fair enough.
Just
fair
5.
enough.
So yeah, I knew we could get the crew in Derry, and I think once I had Mark Macaulay on board and Chrissy on board, do you know what? After that, it all fell into place, and then getting the crew, because he had his camera crew in Derry, which was a big thing. I had a lot of art department in Derry, apart from Patrick, who we brought up, and then costume and all the ADs and the runners, and you know, we were able to bring people from all over, you know, so it was great.
I was going to ask, Bronagh, obviously you've had a storied and stellar career. I didn't realise you were in Warhorse as well. I was going
Yes,
through
I
your
was the
CV. You were,
mother in that, yeah.
And also a musical career as well. So what was it like then coming back to Derry to do a feature with your sister?
It was great. It was great. It was a wonderful experience. We had a 3-week, just under 3-week shoot. And, you know, Louise, as she said, brought as many people from the city with film, you know, backgrounds and like that, young people stepping up and stepping into roles. So, you know, we really knew that we had a massive task in front of us to shoot this within the time we had it. Obviously a low budget feature, but like I keep saying this, and I'm not just saying it because it's Louise, but Louise looked after people so well, and we knew exactly what we were doing, that's where the real hard work is done in the preparation. And everybody just knuckled down, and it was November, you know, which is a tough time to shoot. It's cold, it's dark. And we had a great time. We really did. You know, it was hard going, and the character I play, Pam, was obviously, it's an emotional roller coaster of a character. So, you know, one day you're pregnant, in the afternoon you're not, and then in the evening you're pregnant again, and you're, you know, postnatal, prenatal, all that kind of stuff. So emotionally very demanding. But, you know, I think we really stayed true to what we said we would do, which is a, you know, redemptive piece of drama and about the family dynamic, even though it's a mother and daughter just in the family, but how they survive this relationship, which is quite, you know, challenged at the beginning of the film, and they stay together through the friendship that they develop throughout it and the support of their friends within it, you know. So no, I'm very excited about it and excited to see it as well.
And you were working a lot with the younger actor,
Lola.
Yes,
Yes, Lola and I had most of my scenes were with Lola, and then with Mary, who plays my best friend. So I know we had a great time. Lola's fantastic. You know, she's obviously an older girl than she plays.
Of course,
she's only playing a young schoolgirl, but I know she's fantastic. We had a great time together.
Excellent. So it was a good experience for both of you, I suppose. Well, I mean, obviously you were
was that
tearing
hard
your
work?
hair
We had a great time.
Very,
didn't we?
we're both, you know, I think we've both got a really good work ethic, so we get really focused, and you have to stay focused. You can't, you know, be running out and eating biscuits in the green room all the time and having a chat. You just, you know, and
because that's what people think.
it is, yeah. They think, you know, out of craft services having a croissant.
Aye.
But
No, was it
I
croissants?
I couldn't afford croissants.
I never got a croissant.
I couldn't afford them. I think we had blue ribbons.
We blue ribbon biscuits. They were lovely, and
They are
hula
nice.
hoops. They
What
were
about the
lovely.
pink ones? Are you eating
Never seen the pink ones, no.
What are they called? Pink? Do you know the ones I mean?
Wafers. Wafers.
Wafers, yeah. Those sort of
Wafers.
Now
things.
look at us in the Europa recording a podcast.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
I know.
I'm sure we've come a long way
We
from,
have.
from Roma Road.
The film's triple F rated, which means the lead actor, the producer, and the director are women. And in the film industry, this is an amazing achievement. Does this make you feel really proud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was a thing.
Yeah.
It is very
Triple,
much
is that a new thing?
Mm-hmm. It's been around for a while. A lot of cinemas do it in terms of they would put, like, for example, the QFT was the first, we think, certainly in the island of Ireland to do it. And basically they put an F rating on it. So audiences know that this is a film that has, a woman director or a woman writer. And a triple F rating is quite rare, as you might imagine.
Oh my God, I'm all excited.
What's the fourth F for?
I don't know.
Producer, director.
Lead actress.
Cinematographer, maybe?
Yeah, cinematographer.
Your
If you have a
film's also
cinema.
scored by a woman as
Yes,
well.
Dee
isn't it?
Hexon.
Dee Hexon,
Yeah.
Who just won the Europe an award there for El Hor, her movie,
Oh, right,
her
yeah.
short film, which I haven't seen yet. I can't wait to see it. So she just won a big award in Paris. Excuse my ignorance. I can't remember. My brain's melted today. I can't remember them.
That's
But
brilliant.
Dee's amazing. So she's done a beautiful job on this. It's edited by a woman as well. Our editor, Helen Sheridan, at Yellow Moon.
How many F ratings can we give it? How many Fs
So
can we
that's-
give it?
I don't know.
Loads.
We could make one up.
Yeah, we could
We
just
could
make
create
it
our
up.
own. It's
Exactly. Quintuplet.
quintuplet F. And
Quintuplet
really
F,
confuse
yeah,
really big
absolutely.
movie people and they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
Well, I mean, I think it's about the F rating is about giving sort of profile to women filmmakers and getting audiences to engage with that as well. Because I mean, I suppose a story like this about pregnancy, about kind of women and the relationship between mothers and daughters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
It is a very female orientated movie, obviously. I mean, it was written by Tess when she was pregnant herself.
Really?
So
right. Okay.
at the time. So yeah.
At the film festival launch, you talked about Raising Films and Northern Ireland Screen, the support they gave Shelley
Yes.
in making the film, which was really important in terms of childcare and stuff like that.
Yeah, because Shelley has a very small baby herself, so her baby was just over a year old whenever she got this the job as director on this. So she needed childcare, and so Shelley got great support from Northern Ireland Screen towards childcare. When she first came back to Northern Ireland, she had her her baby with her, who was just just over a year old. So Shelley was able to get some funding from Northern Ireland Screen and from Raising Films towards childcare, and they run these initiatives to help working parents towards the cost of their childcare. So that was a massive help in the budget as well. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for us to sort of accommodate that. And then we had a brilliant executive producer, Roma Downey, who's another famed dairy person.
Indeed.
And
the legions of famous dairy.
yeah,
people.
yeah, and so we, as part of the funding, I can access the UK film tax credit, and you need to have that up front to cash flow your budget. It's all the technical terms, and it's probably very boring for people, but Roma read the script and loved it, and was just straight away, what can I do to help? And she was just so supportive and has been throughout this whole process. So she couldn't make it to Belfast today because she's filming herself in LA, but it wouldn't have got help. It wouldn't have got made without her support. So I'm indebted to her.
Well, I mean, films are always collective enterprises.
Yeah, they are, yeah,
But
yeah,
it's great that I mean, the whole collective approach, especially from a women's perspective,
Yeah.
it's great. I mean, I was going to say about Derry. Derry is hot right now. I mean, Derry
Always has been.
To those, yes. Well, I was going to say to those of us in the know.
You know me a long
obviously,
time. I've
yeah.
always told you Derry is the centre
Well,
of the
there you
universe.
go.
Took a
There
while
you
for
go.
everybody to catch
Of
up.
course, we all know you're just a wee bit slow on the uptake.
Well, yeah, I watched Hush About Baby, but it has a kind of. I mean, Derry Girls is probably the first comedy made in Northern Ireland that's jumped into kind of national consciousness, as far as I remember.
World consciousness.
World consciousness, absolutely.
It's been
Netflix
hit on
and all that,
Netflix in America, obviously, because there's so many Irish people living all over the
true,
world.
yeah.
But I mean, it's popular everywhere, which is great. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's so brilliant, yeah.
And I suppose that sort of allows kind of people now know about Derry, that know sort of the story, the language, the kind of the accent, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Well, do you think that'll help? with with your film.
Yeah, I think it will. Definitely. I mean, I don't see why it shouldn't. I mean, our story is a universal story.
Yeah.
I would like to think that people who watch this are going to, recognise some themselves, someone else, something, or that the message and the theme of it will resonate with them. But ultimately, they hope that they enjoy it, watching it. But yeah, and it's great. I mean, I've been working in this, in the film and the media industry for nearly 30 years now, and I've been in Belfast 30 years. So it's taken me this long to get to do this, to produce a film, which was something, I mean, I left the BBC in 2011, and I just thought I need a break. I wasn't planning to do anything, and then Made in Belfast came along, which was a movie that I worked with Paul Kennedy, who wrote and directed, and it was one of the early films produced through the New Talent Focus.
That's right, yeah.
And it's done really well, and it's now on Amazon Prime. So for me, just to get, just to being able to do this now is amazing after all these years. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes a long time.
A lot of work. It's
a lot of work. And this has consumed my life for the last year, So
well, it's a passion as well.
It is, yeah. I think, yeah, it definitely is. You have to be dedicated to this. You have to be focused to it, because I don't think if you weren't, you wouldn't last. It's exhausting.
I mean, do you you both worked in the industry for a long time now. Is there advice you'd give to someone who was like coming out of school, 17, 18, wanted to get involved in it?
I think patience is a huge attribute to being an artist, and I think you have to have, as a friend said to me, a skin as thick as a rhinoceros, because it's extremely challenging. It's incredibly, precarious. It's you can't have a sense of entitlement in this business. You must have a sense of moving forward, a sense of self-worth, application to your job, and respect for the people around you that you're working within. Because I've seen a lot of young people coming into the business, hitting it very hard right away, and getting right at the top very, very soon in their careers. And it takes a very strong, grounded, mind to keep that kind of buoyancy, And and I've seen a lot of say that to Louise about the production side of stuff. When you're working on movies that are brutal, filming's a brutal environment. Either if it's a big budget or a low budget, and people say, this movie star, that movie star. I mean, when you see a lot of people, no matter what level you're at, it's the hours that people work, it's the construction sometimes of costumes, working on dramas, when you might be up mountains, when you hear Kit Harington talking about Game of Thrones, and obviously incredible job for young actors to get, but I mean, you earn your money. I know they earn a lot of money now, but you are up on a mountain covered in leather armour, running around, jumping down on horses. It's all that. Yeah. So it's hard going. But even at the low budget level of filmmaking, it's as challenging. As a human being, still has to do the jobs. But, that's always quote the thing that my dad has always taught us: people see you for what you are. And in any environment, if a producer is a right-on dude, and if they are respectful of the crew and the cast, so that they're not just giving it the 100% treatment to the movie star that they know is the bankable movie artist, and they're bringing the money, they're bringing the bread. That young actor or that, unknown actor that might be number 95 on the call sheet might end up giving you a job in 30 years' time or 10 years' time, and I've seen it long enough. You've seen the axis move around. You just think, oh dear, you need to learn some manners. Oh dear, you need to realise that third, fourth, fifth runner on set is not your dog, And you just see people being treated that way, and either being treated really well, and it's a wonderful experience, or people being treated diabolically and taking, chances with people's safety. And if you're working with animals, you're working with stunts or, machinery and stuff like that. So I think if people know they've been looked after, you will get that extra half hour out of people at night if you need it, and films off and go on and on and on. Yeah. And I've worked in productions where you're not looked after, and that now at the age I'm at in the game, you realise very quickly, right, these dudes aren't cool. Yeah. But I have to get this job done, and I've signed a dude, so just keep your mouth shut, get your job done, and get out of there, and take the money and walk. You don't owe them anything.
Is part of
it is, I think this is experience, and we had an experience on a job few years ago, like that, and another actor friend of mine who's from here, just said, these people lack class. And that's what I always look from people now, like a bit of class, we bit of charm goes a long way. Because it is a very, very difficult game, and there's no guarantees, and you could make a film that nobody knows about, and all of a sudden, bang, this thing's up there, and the unknowns are winning every award going. Or you can make a film for millions and millions of dollars, and it might last a weekend. So you just don't know. And that's the beauty of it, really, as well, and the kind of magic of it. But work hard and be nice, and humility, I think, is a great thing, because you see monstrous movie producers and movie stars behaving horrendously as regards other people, and I just think it's like a snake. It comes back and gets you, So I
Work
just
hard
think
and be nice.
Be nice and be cool, and make good work, and look for good writing, and work with good actors, Yeah.
And from a crew point of view, be prepared to work on as many different things as you can in terms of drama, documentary. Know who does what on a crew. Who's in the camera department, who's in the sound department, what are their jobs, who's in the grip department, who's just know what each department does and what the roles for, because you're there as a team as well, all making the same product. So everyone needs to be working together, and at the same time, and being aware of what each person's about, knowing about the etiquette on set, things like that, because it's something as a producer you're just watching all the time. You're watching the crew, who's doing what, who's got their head in the phone when they shouldn't have their head in the phone. Particularly nowadays, it's a much more technological on a set. People are on their phones because they need to be. Maybe they're contacting a supplier, but stuff like that. And just watch movies all the time, and study.
We're all about.
We're all about.
Watch movies all the time. Go and see local movies. Go and support them. Go and support the Short Film Festival. This weekend as well, because that's where the future is those wee shorts that you're going to see. It's Saturday and Sunday. They have a couple
Saturday,
of
Sunday.
yeah, which is always a great couple of days in the festival, and I would recommend people going, because you never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly.
And I've met people at those shorts that I am now hoping to work with in the coming months.
Brilliant. And talking about watching films, what is next for your film after tonight?
Well, we have an industry BAFTA screening in London on the 17th, and that's when NI Screen basically present a selection of the work that's been produced over the last year. So it's the games section. So you've got a load of gaming things, the VR shorts, and then they have a shorts program, which I think is either 4 or 6 shorts, and it's a drama. It's probably an Irish language drama or documentary, a documentary, animation, and then bump along the way will be the feature. Right. And then after that, I'm hoping I get some sales agents, maybe do a bit of a festival run. I would love it to get into maybe Galway or Cork or even Foyle or.
I'm sure you'd be in with a shout at Foyle.
I'd love to get something up in Derry. I definitely would. I mean, the majority of the crew being from Derry, and not all of them can make it up this evening. I would love to definitely have to have a screening up at home.
Oh, absolutely. Of course,
and that would be great to have in the Strand.
You'd fill some Collins Hall for that one.
Yes. So then just trying to get it sold as well, and get it distributed, and obviously get it played in the States too. I'm sure with the Irish diaspora in the States, it's something that's going to interest them. And
well, there's a big market for the Colin
so,
Broderick stuff that he's done with kind of the New York and the new film that's coming out with John O'Connor next year. I think it is possibly. Certainly been filmed anyway now, but you know what I mean. There's an Irish American circuit now. There's an awareness
They've all
of it.
Chicago, San Francisco,
Boston,
LA, Boston, New York, them all, and then there's the Rome Irish Film Fest as well, run by Susanna Pellis. Isn't it?
Well, the sky's the limit. Then.
Yeah. So just trying to get it out there, and just do that. And I've got a couple of shorts coming up that I'm looking forward to working on. And
What about you, Bronagh? What's up next?
I'm going to start the new Julian Fellows drama called Belgravia.
Fantastic.
Yes, I'm playing a maid who's actually from Belfast. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm a lady's maid to the lovely Alice Eve, who I know from a lovely job we did in Cannes about 10 years ago, Poirot. So yes, we're starting that on Sunday. So yeah,
Excellent.
off to Corset Land for 3 months.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the hard road.
Stay off the old burgers. And the croissants. Yeah, here we go. Torture time.
Well, look, thank you both very much for your time
Thank you.
today. Enjoy tonight. Enjoy the gala screening tonight, and congratulations to Film Festival for bringing you in as well. It's great. It's going to be very exciting. And here's to many more films by Derry women.
Thank you. Yes,
thank you very
indeed.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.